Tonight, armed fugitive arrested in the Kaimai Ranges. Support Bay of Plenty Rugby this weekend. World Parkinson's Day and Ladies' Afternoon in the Garden. Kia ora and good evening. Welcome to Central News on TV Central for Friday, the 10th of April. I'm Amanda Harper. In today's news, an armed fugitive has been arrested at a rural property on State Highway 29 in the Kaimai Ranges. A senior Waikato investigator says the arrest should serve as a warning to career criminals and members of organised criminal groups. District Crime Manager Detective Carl Thornton congratulated the combined efforts of Waikato, Rotorua and Auckland Police responsible for the arrest of the 44-year-old man. He says the man is the elected president of the rogue chapter of the mongrel mob gang and had been the subject of a number of warnings to the public in relation to his offending and the risks he posed. Mr Thornton said too often organised criminal groups such as gangs try to intimidate areas by presence of numbers, but by utilising a whole-of-policing approach, the forces of good can apply greater numbers than those preying on vulnerable communities. The public and the independent anonymous Crime Stoppers played an important part in the arrest, relaying information to police. The man appeared in court today charged with aggravated robbery, kidnapping and unlawful possession of a firearm. The World Cup is on its way and now is the time to get involved with grassroots rugby at its finest. Amanda Thompson from the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union is encouraging supporters to come down and get among local club matches in the Bay.
Well, this weekend we've got the local round of the Bay Fair Bay-wide competition, so we have rugby happening in Western, Eastern and Central Bay this weekend, so it's a great opportunity for you to get down to your local club and watch your games, and you can check out all that information, where they're playing, who they're playing, on our Facebook page at Bay of Plenty Rugby Union.
For information on who is playing near you, head over to boprugby.co.nz. Tomorrow will be the chance for some of our country's rising water polo stars to make a splash as the New Zealand Secondary Schools Division 2 Water Polo Championships gets underway at Waterworld in Hamilton. Waterworld will be the venue for the week-long event, which features 28 teams from around the North Island, all vying for the chance to be crowned the top Division 2 water polo team in New Zealand. Competition Communication Manager Dana Harvey says the event is a great opportunity for competitors to put their skills to the test in what is a competitive week of matches amongst the schools. The annual event has been running since 2003 and is split into a girls division which runs from the 11th to the 14th of April and a boys division from the 15th to the 18th of April. There is a $2 entry fee for spectators and competition gets underway at 9 o'clock in the morning and finishes at 8:30 at night. Whether it's purely social or competitive, a group of disabled Bay of Plenty athletes are out to show that they can reach the same lofty sporting heights as their able-bodied counterparts at the 2015 Halberg Junior Disability Games. Starting today, 104 athletes aged between 8 and 21 will converge on Cambridge St Peter's School for the annual sporting tournament. Launched in 1992 by CCS Disability Action, the Games, now run by the Halberg Disability Sport Foundation, showcase sports including archery, athletics, blind cricket and waka ama. The aim is to provide high-quality sporting opportunities for young disabled people and a stepping stone towards the Paralympic Games. Among the 100-plus national field of physically and visually impaired young people are 6 athletes waving the Bay of Plenty flag across a range of sports. The Bay squad comprises of Tauranga's Atawhai Kapa and Toby Lipinski, Te Puke's Scott McDonald, Katikati's Zach Coley and Rotorua duo Whakapau Tuma and Abby Moyse. Bay Trust Coach Force Parafed Development Officer Zane Jensen says for the athletes to test themselves on the national stage is a great concept. World Parkinson's Day is on this Saturday and is dedicated to raising awareness about Parkinson's and the impact this condition has on people's lives. The day commemorates the birthday of Dr. James Parkinson and is celebrated by Parkinson's divisions and branches throughout New Zealand in a variety of ways. Parkinson's New Zealand Clinical Lead and Acting Chief Executive Stephanie Clare says there is no reason for anyone to face Parkinson's alone. Community educators can come to your home and there are support and exercise groups throughout New Zealand. She says Parkinson's New Zealand's Community Educator Service is leading the way in helping people with Parkinson's by providing support, information and education so they can be informed, feel confident and get the support they need. This year, Parkinson's Waikato has organised a free public seminar on current opinions in neurology, atypical Parkinsonism and treating of tremor from Dr. Chris Lynch, neurologist at Waikato Hospital. And now for our region's weather. Hamilton, it'll be a few morning showers, chance of thunderstorms, light winds with a high of 23 and low of 10. Rest of the Waikato, Pairo 22 and 11, Matamata 20 high and 12 low, Te Aomutu 23 high and 10 low, Tokoroa 20 and 10 low. And in the Bay of Plenty, Tauranga be a few morning showers, chance of thunderstorms as well with light winds, high of 22 and low of 14. Te Puke, your high is 20 and overnight low of 14 as well. And for the marine forecast, West Coast Raglan changing early Saturday to a southerly 15 knots, turning on Sunday to a northwest of 20 knots. High tide is at 2:46 p.m. And on the east coast, Bay of Plenty, a northwest 20 knots, changing on Saturday morning to a southerly 15 knots and easing in the evening to a variable 10 knots. Developing Sunday afternoon to a westerly 20 knots. High tide is at 11:56 a.m. Coming up in the show, Ladies' Afternoon in the Garden. Welcome back to Central News. Bellyful Tauranga are hosting a very special fundraising event called Ladies' Afternoon in the Garden on the 18th of April. Rachel chats to Karen Watts, the recipient coordinator, to find out what it's all about.
I'm the branch coordinator, so I oversee the whole of the Tauranga branch, ensuring we have enough funds to cook meals and provide for the families.
And how big is the Tauranga branch?
We have 25 volunteers, but we're continually growing.
Do you need any more volunteers?
Oh, we're always looking for volunteers. They can help with cooking at a cookathon, to helping with the fundraising, doing deliveries. There's a job for anyone out there that can offer an hour to more.
And what is the ladies' garden party all about that you've got coming up?
A great afternoon of just fun relaxation in these beautiful gardens.
And you've got a really special collection of artwork that's going to be on display. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
We have 4 local artists' work that's going to be on display. It's going to be acrylic paintings on canvas to multimedia on wood.
What is the support like in Tauranga from local businesses?
The businesses are great at giving us spot prizes for events that we do have. We don't currently have a continual support monthly income.
And I've heard that you have something very fun on site, a photo booth?
Oh yeah, we have a photo booth with all sorts of props, and the photos will be going on Facebook for you to choose, and if you don't want them on Facebook, that's fine.
And you're going to have a range of different entertainment all throughout the day. Can you tell me a little bit more about who's going to be there?
We've got a local guitarist, Tavis Wade, who's going to be playing as you come into the gardens. Then we've got an upbeat singing group. We've also got celloists, flutists and a poetry reader coming.
And what's going to be served for afternoon tea?
Oh, we're going to have little tarts, paninis, all sorts of things going on, little finger foods.
And how much are tickets for the event and where can we purchase those?
Tickets are $25 and can be purchased online through Event Finder, or you can go to Creative Tauranga and pay cash.
And where do event proceeds go to?
The event ticket sales are for our fundraising, so they will be going to Bellyful Tauranga. We're lucky enough to have had the gardens donated to us free of charge, so only overhead is the afternoon tea cut. Yeah.
And is there any particular age restriction on people attending the day, or is it open to everyone?
We're looking for a ladies' afternoon, so from 18 years and up.
What time and where is the ladies' garden party held?
Well, it's going to be held in these lovely gardens, fountain gardens, from 1 till 4 o'clock.
And if the weather by any chance is not ideal, is there a plan B for a backup plan?
As you can see at the Fountain Gardens, we've got a beautiful marquee. So we'll just have it still go ahead, and if you want to risk going out in that rain and still view the gardens, you still can.
And what future events do you have planned for this year?
We've got a few events in mind. We've got a movie night and another quiz night.
If we would like to donate or volunteer, where should we go to get more information?
You can email me on karen.watts@bellyful.org.nz, or you can call me on my cell phone.
Ladies' Afternoon in the Garden is on the 18th at Fountain Gardens from 1 o'clock to 4 p.m. In our next story, there is plenty going on this year with the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union. Central News had Amanda Thompson and Ian Parata in studio to give us the lowdown and reveal why the union has remained strong for over a century.
Oh, it's the people, you know. It's a huge geographic region. We cover everything from Kerikeri down to Opotiki, Taka, out through to Murupara. And the people in there are just so passionate about rugby, and in particular Bay Rugby. It really is the lifeblood of the Bay Rugby Union.
Nice. Now, I know that you are born in the Bay. What is your background in rugby?
Well, I started playing obviously in the Bay, and I finished in the Bay when I broke my neck playing for the Te Puna Rugby Club. So I've been there since, back in the 80s when I was into it. I've refereed there, I've coached college teams there, and today I'm the secondary schools rugby manager. So just love the Bay and love the rugby there.
So if it wasn't for the broken neck, you'd possibly be in the All Blacks, is that right?
Of course, you know, who else wouldn't want to be an All Black? So yeah, it was a bit of an unfortunate event, but you know, that's just rugby.
Exactly. Now, Amanda, the ITM Cup draw has just been announced.
Yes, that's right. So we're pretty happy. We've got 5 home games, and so in one of those games, obviously it's been played away, but we've got a Ranfurly Shield challenge against Hawke's Bay. Hopefully they retain the shield until that time. But so we're looking forward to that and bringing the shield back to the Bay. So that's huge honour for us.
Nice. Do you have high hopes this season to bring the shield back?
Absolutely. Like, we've got a new coach, so Clayton McMillan, who's a Rotorua boy. So he's also won the shield previously for the Bay of Plenty. So yeah, he's pretty keen to get those boys up to win the shield and bring it home.
Nice. Let's hope that they can do that.
Yes, definitely.
Now, Ian, as a secondary schools manager, how important is it to encourage young people to stay in rugby?
Look, Amanda, the NZRFU, they've done a big survey with Kaimai Brunton, and in 2013 there were over 6,200 young men, 17 to 18, playing rugby. In the following season, in the 2014 season, that number fell to 3,500. So we're about trying to provide a positive environment for kids to stay involved in the game, not only in the secondary school level but through to the clubs. You know, we lose 3,000 potential All Blacks and ITM Cup players, and more importantly for a province like the Bay, we're losing, you know, 500 to 600 good senior club players who just stop playing rugby. So it's huge for us to work with the secondary schools and keep those boys engaged in the game.
Mm-hmm. And what are you offering as sort of after high school? Like, what kind of competitions are you running?
Well, we've just started something on Friday nights under the lights at Greaton Maris, man. We're running the Super 10. It's a 10-a-side competition. It's a bit of a social rugby, but we're aimed at our under 21-year-olds. Those are kids who have left school at 17, 18. They have a look at the club scene and say, look, I'm not quite ready to mix it with the big older guys. So we're encouraging those colts. And then we've opened it up to an under 85 kg, so I'm just missing out on that, unfortunately, because I'd love to get my boots on. So just a couple of kilos out. But hey, you know, it's about getting the older guys who go, look, I'm 70 kilos. I don't really want to mess with those, you know, 110 and 90 kilo boys. So it's a competition. It's Friday night under lights. It's a bit of social rugby, but it's about keeping them in the game, keeping them attached to rugby clubs. And again, it's just about keeping the family thing focused on short, sweet, and have lots of fun.
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing, and it's Friday night under lights. You know, what else would you be doing?
We will be back with more from Ian and Amanda after the break. Welcome back to Central News. I've got Amanda and Ian from the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union. They're giving me the down low on what's happening in the Bay. Amanda, you have the Bay-wide comp currently underway. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so it's the it goes into 3 different areas, so Western, Central and Eastern Bay of Plenty. So they all play off in a local round, which is happening at the moment. So Central and Eastern Bay of Plenty are in their 3rd week, and Western Bay of Plenty are returning into their 4th week after having a bit of an Easter break. And once it's finished up in the local round, after the 6 weeks, they'll go into the Bayfair Bay-wide round, which will encompass 3 clubs from Eastern Bay, Central Bay, and then 6 from Western Bay, and they'll play off against each other.
Nice. And what's happening this weekend?
So this weekend we've got Central and Eastern and Western Bay all playing, and so there's a couple of tight matches. In the Central Bay they've got the first Division 1 clash, and all the Eastern Bay competition is highly competitive at the moment, because there's 1 spot up for grabs into the Bay-wide Bayfair comp, so it's pretty competitive out there.
Yeah. And whereabouts and what time if supporters want to get down and support their
team? For Central and Eastern Bay of Plenty, so 2:30 p.m. down at their local clubs, so they can check out on our Facebook to see where those games are being played, and then for Western Bay of Plenty 2:45. So yeah, check it out our Facebook page, Bay of Plenty Rugby Union, and all the information is up on there.
Excellent. Now, Ian, can you tell me a bit about the academy partnership that you've got with the University of Waikato and the Bay of Plenty Polytech?
Yeah, sure. Look, it's what we're trying to do is encourage our young players to stay within the Bay, and the big objective for us there was to get to these kids in their last year of college and say, look, you have study options here. We've got scholarship arrangements with both of those institutions, and what we're trying to encourage these kids to is to look within their own backyard before they disappear elsewhere. And part of that is that they'll work with Clayton, who's our Steamers head coach, and his high performance team. They'll put them through an assessment of firstly their skills, their attitude and their commitment to the game. And if they pass all those marks, they're brought into this academy structure where the guys are studying towards careers outside of rugby, but they're given the opportunity really to follow that rugby aspiration in a high performance environment. So they're working with guys like Keith Roberts, who's our strength and conditioning coach. Keith's worked with New Zealand Sevens. He's been with the team when the Sevens won the gold medal at Kuala Lumpur. So they've got an awesome environment. Our message is to parents and to young guys, you know, look in your own backyard first before you look for those opportunities outside. And the support of the Bay Polytech and Waikato University is instrumental in helping us keep guys within the Bay, playing for the Bay and playing for clubs in the Bay. And for me as secondary schools manager, you know, Bay Polytech are sponsoring and supporting us along with Bethlehem coach lines, and those guys are about allowing us to keep these kids in the Bay and hopefully in rugby and support our local clubs.
Excellent. And Amanda, are there some up and coming players that you think could be potential All Blacks that you've got your eye on?
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody is sort of talking about Johan Bardal, so nicknamed Yogi. He used to work at the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union in a junior role, and so yeah, he's definitely one to watch. We've got a couple of other boys who are training in the Chiefs development, and they've just headed off to Hong Kong the other day. So they're also ones to keep an eye out on. So there's John O'Kiddo,
Matty Axton.
Yeah, Matty Axton as well.
Raw boy.
And Dan Hollinshead as well. So just to name a few, they're certainly ones to keep an eye out.
We will be bringing more updates from the Bay Union on Central News. In our last story, the Mitre 10 Mega Waikato International Badminton World Federation Future Series is coming up next week. What a mouthful. Reporter Rachel Sutton chats to tournament director Tjitte ahead of the series to see how it's all coming together.
Yes, we've had a number of events, leading into 2008, and it's quite expensive to run an international event from a resource perspective. A lot of people involved, so we decided to strengthen our organisation first. We had a new strategic plan and just focusing on local and regional tournaments first, while we were building up our business really. And since things have gone really well for Waikato Badminton in the last 4 to 5 years, we decided to have another crack at it, and really excited to have the event on board.
As tournament director, what does your role involve?
It's really basically looking after all aspects of the tournament, ranging from transport through to coordinating volunteers, scheduling the event, and once it all started, and we've got designated people to looking after each of those roles. It's just pulling it all together in the lead up, and then making sure that there's enough people on board to keep things ticking over.
You've always had a passion for badminton. How did you get into the industry?
Yes, often people ask me how long I've been involved in badminton, and I often say that I haven't had a life outside of badminton since I was 11 years old. Started playing, played professionally for about 10 years, represented the Netherlands, and then moved into coaching, moved to South America for a coaching role, and then came to New Zealand to do the same, and eventually got into the admin and management side of things. So it's been a long time. Really enjoying it though. It's a hobby, a passion. So I'm really fortunate to be able to work in this industry.
You have 80 players from 6 different countries. How do you source your players?
Yeah, it's probably easier than most people may think, because it's the international tournament is open for anybody who is eligible to represent their country. So we promote the tournament all around the globe, and obviously hope for people to enter. Now we did know that we were going to get the good support from within New Zealand, also from our Australians, and then basically all other international entries were a bit of a bonus. It is a future series, which is the lowest tier of international events. So we had hoped for at least 60 players. And having 80 is just fantastic, and having countries like Indonesia and South Africa and Pakistan, Denmark here is just fantastic.
Are there specific categories for the players?
Yeah, every international event has 5 disciplines: men's singles, ladies singles, men's doubles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles. So those 5 disciplines are played in every international event, and they score world ranking points for participation in those disciplines.
For the quarterfinals and the semis, what does this involve exactly?
Well, every discipline has 4 quarterfinals, and as the tournament goes on, it'll get more intense to try and gain those spots for the semi-finals when things get to the business end of the tournament. As the tournament goes on, the play will get more exciting.
And next year, 2016, you're expecting a huge spike in entries. Why is this, TJ?
Yeah, well, of course, 2016 is Olympic year, Rio Olympics, and the qualifying period for badminton finishes on the 30th of April 2016. Our event is going to be in March next year, which means that we are in the last 6 weeks of the qualifying period, where basically every player in the race is going to go mad and trying to go and scrape those last couple of points for the world ranking. So that's going to be really exciting, and we hope that our entry will see a lot more countries coming. So we're pretty confident. And also it's going to be bang in front of the Sky City New Zealand Open Grand Prix tournament, which is a massive international event. So a good opportunity for players from overseas to have to grab a 2-in-1 deal, basically coming to New Zealand.
The Mitre 10 Mega Waikato International Badminton World Federation Future Series is on next Friday the 17th until Sunday the 19th at the Eastlink Badminton Stadium in Hamilton East. For more information, head to waikatobadminton.co.nz. Thank you for watching Central News this week. We post everything online on our website, tvcentral.co.nz, and we also like to keep in touch with our viewers on Facebook, so don't forget to like us. If you think you might have a story lead for me, email news@tvcentral.co.nz. Would always love it to hear from you. Thank you for watching Central News on TV Central. My name is Amanda Harper. Have a good weekend. Paul Marie.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.